And a good Tuesday afternoon to you, Roger Hill of Wuthering Heights. This weather video is driven by 802cars.com, representing 802 Toyota, Twin Cities Subaru, and 802 Honda, all located off of Exit 7 on Interstate 89. Big broad picture here of North America. And what we find is, a lot of cloud cover, north, south, east, and west from our region, and also some flurries. These have been skipping Vermont during the daytime, kind of arriving in little bits and pieces, moving in on the circulation of this area of low pressure here that's kind of pushing on through. But the large-scale features are kind of all over the place. Really nothing major, as we have kind of a ridge of higher pressure and a little bit of a trough, a shortwave trough in this area here on the Rockies. And jet stream energy will be cutting underneath, generally going off the middle Atlantic coast and then curling up like this. This has been the weather pattern. Looks like that's going to be very, very stable during this entire period going in through next weekend and probably a couple days after that, perhaps as late as Tuesday of next week. So this is the European model, and this is valid later on this evening here. But what we have is an area of low pressure that's situated south of Nova Scotia. It's driving the circulation, where it's throwing these little vorticity lobes that kind of pinwheel into parts of Maine, eventually New Hampshire, and through Vermont. We have another little shot of flurry action that's going to develop, it looks like, tonight. It'll probably linger a little bit more into the morning hours during the day tomorrow. This is how it's depicted and modeled by the European model. And so it tries to make a run. You can see it's mainly up in the northern areas here. This is valid overnight. That's about at 6 o'clock, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then it moves on out into parts of New York and leaves the region dry the rest of the day. This is going to be a little bit more of a pivot point, as this area of low pressure will push just far enough east. It'll take a little bit more of the cloud cover over, and the hope is we can start to get some breaks in the clouds. These areas of higher pressure are also sitting over a lot of low clouds, so I haven't been seeing a whole lot of that. But the hope is we do get a little bit of colder and, more importantly, drier air into the region. Now, we are in a very stable weather pattern, as you can see here. Not a whole lot of changes. We're into Friday now, Thursday night, Friday morning, and with high pressure situated a little bit to the north of us, these areas of low pressure, the shortwave troughs, kind of work off the middle Atlantic coast and then make that curl right back in. And all the reason for that is a little bit of more of a blocking situation further up to the north and east into the central part of the Atlantic into Greenland. And that's causing these systems to sort of hit that block and then eventually move into the region or move up into the Canadian Maritimes. But a lot of the jet stream energy is undercutting because we do have high latitude blocking over a good portion of southern Canada right now. And looking at the GEFs, the GFS Ensemble, Canadian Ensemble Mixed Data, these are 3-hourly precipitation plumes. You can see not much going on here, but this is valid, just what we were talking about. And it's a relatively dry scenario. In fact, the total amount of the QPF through this entire period is almost funny. It's only around 1/10 of an inch or so, and that's a lot of days before we actually achieve any kind of precipitation. We'll take it. Weather Prediction Center showing about 1/100th of an inch or so of precipitation total. Look at this. It's suppressed the 1/4 inch line of precipitation way down to the south of us and off the coast. The only active areas are basically northwestern United States and then the south central areas into the southeast United States, where a storm track is kind of pushing in off of into the western Atlantic. This is a little bit of a misnomer, but you can see here where we're looking at well above normal temperatures, 2-meter temperatures up in Canada right now. So to our north, compared to normal, it's very anomalously warm. But the other thing is that a colder air further up to the north across parts of Alaska and Greenland and so forth. And then the Arctic Basin is still seeing warmer than normal temperatures. Not a whole lot to take away here. The way the storm track is right now, going south of our region off the middle Atlantic coast, the southeast United States, and into portions of the western Atlantic, that's dragging colder modified air into the region. So you can see a gradual dip in the temperature. This is basically about Saturday and Sunday. These would be the 2 coldest days, and at night we could see single digits in temperature, and I would expect this is about the only issue for Arctic chill. Otherwise, it is an extremely dry forecast at this point. And the meteorological output statistics for the next 5 days show up like this: about 3 degrees above normal A little warmer with maybe a little bit of a Chinook wind coming in off the Canadian Rockies, warming up some of the prairie provinces of southern Alberta, mostly into Saskatchewan. What about 3 days later? Well, it looks like this. Not a big change. Temperatures, once again, anywhere from just a little bit of a cool-off we can see here, back to close to seasonal norms. If anything, we're running just a little bit above normal in temperature, so about 3 degrees above normal to about 0 degrees or neutral expected in our neck of the woods. And of course, across southern parts of Canada, western Canada, you can see that it's still warmer than normal, also kind of working into the west coast just a little bit. Looking at North American snowfall extent, what you can see here is the red line. This is our shot here and what's happened. We had that big push in late October and kind of a fake almost. Things backed off considerably in the first part of November. Then it picked up and then it kind of leveled off. And we haven't seen really much of what I would call a winter in terms of snowfall here. It's pretty much well below normal snowfall, despite the fact that we did set that record 44 inches in parts of southern Vermont with that anomalous snowfall that we saw. And then, of course, that was picked up here, and that's what the indication was. That was kind of reflective of that. And then since then, we're kind of more or less neutral and moderate. Now, compare that to the northern hemisphere as a whole. Northern hemisphere is running low, but again, picked up on some of these little bouts of heavier snowfall. And I'll leave you with this. This is snowfall at the stake. And the interesting thing here, the big takeaway is that really we're running well below average, 16 inches versus 34 inches, about half our total snow depth at the stake. And we continue to see that. I would not be surprised we go down the road here into the latter half of January and we see some catch-up snows. It'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. That's it from here. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights. Thanks for watching.